All right. Hey guys. Okay. Yeah, that was a huge patch. Almost 4 gigs. Kind of amazing. Um, I don't know if you guys like it, but this new title screen, it's beautiful. Great. Love it. Um, so I have logged in already to kind of check some of the stuff out. So when I did this video, I'd be a little more in the loop. So yeah, let's get cracking, yeah. Okay, I really need a boom for this mic. Ugh, whatever. Okay. So, first we're gonna go through all the stuff we normally do. Gonna look at the welfare, the gacha, blueprints, Twitter videos, alterations, and then we're gonna look at all the new stuff that got added with 3.0. So let's open up with our Wolf Coin and Hidulfer. So, 30 centimeter cannon, B power. Okay. It's a B power EX skill. It's nice to see it on a welfare at least. Yeah. I do like the aesthetic of this suit in general. I find it's really cool. You know, tanks in a Gundam game, really neat. But yeah, I don't really have much to complain about with this. In terms of stats, we're obviously going to see much higher numbers than normal because you know, it's an integrated part. It's going to have really high stat values. So welfare wise, it looks like it has a very significant amount of shot attack, like a lot of shot attack. Even with carryover, we're at like 4,800, which is crazy high. No complaints. Xeon Transformer. Alright, the Xeon tag and Transformer tags make sense because of what it actually is. We do have a lot of Xeon tags and a good amount of Transformer tags, so it's very interesting, that's for sure. The stats are nice, the EX skill is nice, the tags are kind of meh, so pretty okay overall. Alright, arms. Shovel arm. E plus power, and you raise your melee defense. This is really weird for a welfare. Consistently good EX skills, I'm worried. Numerically, okay. Looking about 1500 shot attack, which for para welfare arms is stupidly high. Token melee, Xeon 4 desert. I don't like the 4 line of tags. Xeon's still there. Numerically, this is really good. What the fuck? And the tank treads are their own unique item, so you can actually just put your build on wheels. Alright. With speed attribute, projectile speed. So, I don't find projectile speed to be that great. Yeah, it's really up to like each person what they really want to have in their build, but your projectiles traveling faster, Numerically, all right, so this looks more like a normal pair. I say that, and then I look at the defense on the shot. So we're looking at about 1400, 1500 shot attack on the legs, which is really high for a welfare legs. In general, legs, I have no complaints. The stats on the main frame of this suit are absolutely bonkers. The EX skill on the torso and the arms, they're B or B plus. It's great. Yeah, shit, man. Physical ranged weapon magazine boost. So this will only boost your gun. It won't boost EX skills that are magazine based. And it only will boost if it's a physical one too. We don't have a ton of good physical ranged weapons. And I don't find the magazine boost to be the best use of your trait allocation. Numerically, it's like every other welfare weapon. Really nothing to write home about. Honestly, this suit, the numbers are really friggin' good on it. Shit, man, like, get the frame Damn. Damn, Daniel. Alright. What are we looking at for tags? High firepower, GM type, high mobility. Definitely need some of that. Support type, and 4 base. Okay. Okay. And we have all this. Okay, so what's our fragment exchange? We have the Estrella, Chimeras, and Pale Rider. Dang. Alright, hold on a sec. I want to take a look at those. I think the Estrella had a couple of really interesting parts. Yeah, and I don't remember what any of them were. Had your Trans Am that gave you more beam resist than anything. Was it the torso? No, I can't remember. One of these parts is really interesting, but there's unfortunately just too damn many. Yeah. Oh, the Estrella hands. Let me check real quick. GN hand missile. Oh yeah, so it's double B. Yeah, I can see that being really nice. And which bazooka was it? EX skill power boosted. That one. Alright, cool. Yeah, that one reduces your just EX skill cooldown reduction with your power attribute. It's pretty dope. An easy freebie. Alright, let's go take a look at our gacha. See what that has for us. Which is the Knight Superior Dragon. Okay. Oh, let's take a look. The speed attribute EX skill piercing boosted. So that's how much resistance and defense that your EX skill is going to ignore when it hits. It could be worse. Wait a second, I got some gum. Alright. Gum gone. Let's focus. Anyways. Yeah, I don't like the EX skill piercing that much. I find that there's better you could put in here, but that's a personal thing. I'm all about the offensive, who needs defense, anything like that. If there's room for something like this, you got room for EX skill power boost or shooting power boost, whatever, right? So yeah. Numerically, that's gonna be what, like 94 or something? No, it's gonna be 83. That's even lower than I thought. Yeah. Oh, I was looking at it with the friggin'... Yeah. Okay. Anyways. Yeah. Numerically, it's nothing to write home about. The tags, Gundam type, and 4 computers. Gundam type is a flexible tag. You can get a lot of use out of that. 4 computers, not so much. It really only has like 1 trait, if I remember correctly, it activates that's any good. And the EX, or the trait, not really feeling it myself, but it's not terrible. Alright, let's look at our torso. While Gundam type, melee power boosted. Like I said, Gundam type is very flexible. We do have it available in a lot of suits so far, so it'll be really easy to activate it as a tertiary tag, and you get a melee power boost. Don't forget, this is a standard suit, meaning after 4 weeks have passed, you can just pick it out of the pool. I would say if you're lacking a really good melee boost or something, or your torso doesn't have that great of a trait, this is literally brain dead picks. Numerically, alright, so we're looking at like what, 2200 melee attack and about 1700 shot for a torso. Pretty good. Pretty good. Gundam type, close combat. It's interesting that they immediately tossed the 4 computers and added in close combat, but I guess it kind of feeds off its trait being really, really good, so. Alright, I'll accept it. You know, it's pretty okay. Pretty okay. Alright, let's look at the arms. Fire Dragon Cannon. A+D. Raise your melee attack. That D power, unfortunately, really kills it. Really kills it. Yeah, I don't think Suki is joining us. I'm pretty sure he's busy doing his own stuff. He's probably quite busy playing with that mission creator thing, because I know he was super duper hyped about it, so. Alright, arms. So we're looking at about, what, 2300 shot attack and about 4800 melee. That's pretty solid. No complaints on the numbers. Gundam type 4 computers. I've already talked about those tags. Alright, prominence slash. Yeah, prominence slash rave. Okay. B plus B minus. So this is pretty much the Estrella arms except physical melee. This says it creates shock waves of flame that cleave through. Now, if this means that it'll actually shoot projectile shock waves, and that on impact they'll actually continue and be able to hit more than one thing, that's friggin' amazing. That's really, really good. I'll have to see the animation to really figure that one out, though. Numerically, about 2k melee attack, 1400 shot. For a pair of legs, that's good. Gundam type close combat again. Sure. Alright, Bow of the Golden Dragon. B plus D, low cooldown. This sounds like a pseudo cutscene. I'll have to see the animation on this. Very interesting. Alright, numerically. 1900 shot and 1800 melee. A backpack with those numbers. Okay. Yeah, no, numerically that's fine. Just really not sure about the EX skills on those last couple of parts. It's a barrage. Yeah, I'll just wait until I see the Twitter video before I really make any what's the word? Judgment. Before I make any real judgments on it. After 10 seconds pass, reduce cooldown by 50% once. Okay, so the activation trigger for this is really easy to attain. Just wait for 10 seconds, but it really depends on the content you're doing and what you plan on like accomplishing by doing that content. If you're looking to get like the absolute maximum amount of points in an arena, for example, 10 seconds is too long. If you're looking to do a multi-mission, this might be perfect for you. So I think this really does boil down to the content that you're doing. But inherently it's not bad. It doesn't require anything special like shoot down an enemy or anything. It's just after 10 seconds, you know, bada bing. Yeah, something to note, this may actually be viable in very certain arena stages like the space one. Do keep in mind that in arena, when you spawn and the big red banner shows up with warning, time is actually already counting down there. So when the fight actually starts, you're down like 4 or 5 seconds. You've already pretty much eaten through half the timer. And because there's a big box in the way, so you have to kind of strafe to left or right anyways, you may actually find a lot of use out of this. But again, you know, kind of mileage may vary. Numerically, oh, there's actually a decent amount of melee attack on this. Not too shabby. Yeah, it's pretty much the cap for non-Sokai stuff. Pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, those swords are very interesting. And lastly, the Dragon Shield. Alright, with dual sabers, category equipped, melee crit rate boosted. So I've talked about crit rate in the past. I'm not the biggest fan of it because we already have a lot of stuff left up to RNG in this game. Leaving even whether or not you do your full damage, I think is a little much. There are a lot of 100% crit rate builds that you are able to do now. And you know, if you want to, go for it. You know, whatever floats your boat. But yeah, I don't like crit rate, whether it's melee or shot. I just don't find it's a very good investment. Numerically, what are we looking at here? Okay, so we have about 2k melee attack, which is pretty solid, and about 1100-ish shot. Okay. Cool. Yeah, compared to swords to, yeah, because we still have the Gerbera Straight and Tiger Pierce. The thing is, with these dual blades reducing your cooldown, the requirement on these swords is that it'll work for any build because you only have to wait 10 seconds. It doesn't have a tag activation requirement. It doesn't have a attribute requirement. It's literally just 10 seconds pass, you get your cooldown. So that makes this viable in more than just melee builds, which was more or less exclusively the Gerber Straight Tiger Pierce's like Dual Blades King of the Hill kind of deal. Now that we removed the necessity to have the pro tag, word tag on our suits, and we get a great cooldown on it, I'd say that's pretty good. But again, you know, mileage may vary, depends on the content you're doing. Anyways, as for the shield, yeah, 11, so about 1050, I'd say shot attack, and about, 2k melee. That's a lot of numbers on the shield. Well, dual sabers category, crit rate boost, like I said, not the biggest fan of crit rate stuff. Gundam type close combat, workable. I'd say it's a good shield overall. For a standard suit, frankly, it's not bad. It's got some really interesting traits that remind me a lot of Sokai suits. It has the numbers, yeah, solid pretty much. Yeah, minus that 1 EX skill with D-Power, but what can you do, right? All right, now, I'll look at the normal AI pilots, and then I'll go and look at the swimsuit AI pilots. All right, let's take a look at our buddy Maribel. All right, after 30 seconds pass, boost job gauge by 40% once. I don't like the job gauge. I don't like what it gives. I still think there's stuff they could do to make it better. I know some people like it though, power to you. 30 seconds though, I think is a real steep ask to actually get that triggered. Way too long. Way too long. Numerically, at least, he's not terrible as a 3-star. He's pushing, what, 1800 shot attack? It's pretty friggin' solid. Yeah, well, they gotta give the SDs good stats, because otherwise people would just not use them other than to make abominations to laugh at. Let's be real. Alright, lock on Stratos. Speed attribute, shooting crit rate boosted by 30%. I've already talked about crit rate. I'm not gonna do it again. Numerically, what are we looking at here? A 3k shot attack. 1100 melee. That's pretty solid. Again, for a non-build pilot, this guy's got numbers. Mid-range Gundam type. Cool. 2 really nice tertiary tags. Yeah, he's pretty okay. Pretty okay. Alright, let's look at the swimsuit pilots. We'll start with Sana. When all 3 Gunpla in squad are speed, EX skill power boosted. That's an interesting ask and a really good trait. I don't like the fact though that she's a supporter. That kind of kills a lot of the big benefits from this. High firepower support type. Yeah, so if you use this as a sub-trait, I'd say this would be pretty good. It's really easy to get 3 suits that are speed, and you get an EX skill power boost for it. There's nothing to complain about there. You gotta remember, a lot of pilots don't have the best traits. Numerically, she actually kind of looks like a normal 4-star pilot in the Gacha, a high-end 4-star Gacha pilot. Because she's sitting at about, what, 2600 shot attack or so? Just remember, she doesn't get the boost from changing over to a ranged job license, so she caps out pretty solid there. Alright, pretty good. Alright, Rindo, you are a long shooter. When all 3 are technique shooting power... Okay, at least that feeds into itself here. Okay, so she's a long shooter, meaning she'll benefit from the shooting power boost. She also will boost her own shot attack stat because long shooter. Numerically, okay, ooh, geez, we're looking at about 2900 shot attack. That's like build pilots pre-alter numbers. You guys seeing this shit? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. She even comes with Ace exclusive and Gundam type. All right, sweet. That's actually a solid pilot. What? When all 3 Gunpla are speed melee power boosted, she's an outfighter, so just like before, feeds into her own build. Numerically, okay, she's a lot more gimped in the numbers factor here. 24-ish 100 melee attack, 2200 shot. Those are pretty good stats. Pretty good for a non-build pilot. High mobility, mobile fighter. Those are high demand tertiary tags. The mobile fighter is actually really rare to see, so that's awesome in itself. Sukia pulled 4 Rindos earlier. Wow, that lucky Sob. He doesn't even play shooters. That's the part that gets me. He doesn't even play shooters, and he gets the best shooter pilot. What a... When squad has all attributes, so you have the Trinity, EX skill power boosted. I see this a lot in Arena, so I can see this trait starting to get used a lot more. Alright, numerically. Okay, we're looking at about 2700 shot attack, which falls just below what we had with Rindo. Mid-range, high mobility, good tertiaries, absolutely. Has token melee 2200-ish or so. Okay, yeah, no. So Ren and Rindo really knocking it out of the park here stat-wise paired with their traits. Yuri just... she has a super good mobile fighter tag on her. Like, that's awesome to see. She feeds into herself with her trait, her numbers, and her job license, but her stats are a little on the lacking side. Not a big deal. You can always use her as a sub and, carry over whatever you need. And Senna just... she got the short end of the stick here, man. She's got arguably the worst job license. Her part trait only affects herself. If it affected her squad, this would be really good, but it only affects her. So she's pretty much delegated, even with, like, her numbers aren't that amazing either, like 2600 shot attack, but she can't even make use of it. So effectively, you're forced to use her as a sub pilot. All the other ones you can use as your main pilot, and it's okay. I can't wait to see them post-alter, because some of these numbers are actually like build project level pilots, which is insane to see. And if you notice, I did actually already roll this. I'll show you guys the results after. I wanted to get all of them because they are limited time pilots, and they're in gacha. Unlike build pilots where you have to roll an ungodly amount of times to actually, get them, this is, in my opinion, a little nicer for 4 pilots worth. Anyways, where were we? We looked at all the gacha stuff. Twitter video. That's where we are. All right, let me bring that up. Twitter video. There we go. I gotta resize this apparently. Cut it off about there. Bring it over like this. Trim it down. Because that's way too small, we're gonna make it bigger. Oh yeah, look at that. On the fly editing. Look at that, guys. I'm great. All right. Well, let's watch this, see what happens, shall we? Okay, so that arm. Okay, yeah, so that is a volley. I remember somebody mentioning that before. Was that just a wide spread? Was that all that was? Really? Oh, that hit multiple targets. Excuse me? Damn. What? Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. That it? Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, that was... wow. So the Army X skill is a basic volley shot. You know, it's a bog standard animation, whatever. The backpack has a multiple homing system on its range, and the feat is just a giant wall of spam of ranged melee that seems to home in. I'm at a loss, frankly. Those legs look friggin' amazing. Yeah, the SD is really stupid. Like, straight up, it looks ridiculous. But, like, you can't argue with the results. The leg EX looks like it could be really good at mowing through mook phases of things, right? And the backpack as well looks like it packs a hell of a punch, all things freaking considered. Wow. Can't remember those. The backpack, yeah, no, so the arms are really low rating. So even though it's a nice looking volley, it doesn't have a lot of uses because of its low power. But everything else has its use. Yeah, wow. Honestly, the legs just has me the most, just like, what the hell am I looking at? That's crazy. It's just crazy. All right, so that's all out of the way. Alterations. Let's go take. Actually, before that. So I did roll the swimsuit pilot gacha, like I said. Oh, what'd I hit? Back button? Yeah, back button. Yeah. So the game decided that it really wanted to troll me, so it gave me. Second. Yeah. So I got 5-star, 6-star only, please. Let's trim out all the crap. So it gave me Ren, then Yuri, and then Ren, and then Yuri, and then Yuri, and then Yuri, and then Rindo, and then I had enough tickets to exchange for Sana at the end. The game really wanted to give me Yuri. Like, just, it kept throwing Yuri at my face. It was a weird time, man. The Maganak, yeah, I can definitely look at that. That's in the normal blueprints, isn't it? It's a 1-star, right? Sort, I can't sort, damn it. Can I sort by, oh no, right, I'm not allowed to sort. Where the hell is it then? Because this isn't alphabetical, right? Yeah, there it is. All right, we'll take a look at the Maganak. You do realize we're getting the AI pilots free, which is why we have the poll missions. Yeah, but simultaneously, I also just like rolling gacha. You know, it's a problem I have. On that note, once, oh yeah, that's the other, so we have the old swimsuit pilots from last year, and now we have the new updated ones. The updated ones are gacha only. The old ones we're doing with a popularity poll, and whoever wins, we get them. The other 3 get thrown into the abyss and forgotten about for God knows how long. So if you also, the pilots that are in the gacha right now, the swimsuit pilots, they actually give drop rate and point bonuses in the event if you weren't aware. They wouldn't be giving those out for free. The original swimsuit pilots from last year, though, those ones are poll. Oh, can we get all the old swimsuit pilots? Cool. I only knew about the whoever wins, we get them. So, just reduce numbers. Okay. Well, hey, you know what? That's what the hangar's for, right? Anyways, let's look at the Maganak, and then we're going to go look at alterations. I'm going to hate my life. I can already tell. Alright. So, I already know the stats on this are not going to be great, because it is a 1-star. So I'm just really going to look at the tags and the trait or EX skill it brings to the table, because that's going to be the important part in my opinion. Would technique attribute shooting to... Oh, it's a flat number boost. No. 4 desert mass production. Both of those are relatively common tags, so this really doesn't bring anything to the table. Torso. When armor is 60% or more, enemy EX skill power reduced. If that was a higher modifier, this might actually be pretty handy, but 10%. It's jump change. 4 desert mass production, yet again. Arms. Come on. When mass production, another flat number boost. Or desert mass production. Ooh. Hold on a second. Alright, let's roll back to before where I said the stats wouldn't be anything amazing. These numbers are so kite here. Yeah, 5 full marks, but this is reaching so kite here. That's kind of the problem here. Granted, the Sokai stuff is typically without full marks and everything, but this is still numerically pretty friggin' good. If you can afford all those marks, it's pretty good. Not the best, not by far, but considering you can just craft them for free with minimal effort. Alright. EX skill piercing boosted. I've already talked about how I feel about this. At least the modifier on this is relatively high at 16%, so... For desert, close combat. Alright, close combat's workable. For desert, not as much. Alright, backpack. When operated on auto, 11% chance to not recoil. That's a very interesting trigger to see. Alright, cool. That's neat. The actual thing it activates is pretty freaking useless, but that's a cool trigger, I gotta say. Tanks, for combat, cool. For desert, meh. Alright, let's take a look at your battle axe, boy. Stormage. Greater Whirlwind, raise your shot defense by 19%. That's a token boost. For desert mass production. Nothing to write home about. Rapid rifle fire, depower. Yeah, nope. And shield. While for desert, strong melee crit rate boosted. Already talked about crit rate. What can you say about the anniversary tickets? That I have yet to finish reading over all of the patch notes because there were a lot of friggin' patch notes and I was kind of busy today. I'm big saws. Alright. So that's pretty much that all taken care of. Let's dive into the alterations. We'll start off with the not permanent pool. Wait a second. Recco. What? What's a Recco? Oh, it's you. Is this new? Or is this a rerun? It's new. Okay. So, for all those that are new to the alteration thing, I just look at the trait or the EX skill to see what happened because the stats almost universally go up. There's extremely few exceptions to this. There's like a total, I think, of 4 to 5 now in the game out of all the parts that have been alterated that have a significant stat change. So I only care about the trait or EX skill to see what gets added, boosted, whatever. Okay. While Gundam type, initial EX skill charge boosted by 20% and leg parts EX skill power boosted. Both of these I think are really powerful and they synchronize pretty well together. No complaints. Torso. With dual sabers equipped, melee power boosted. When attacking with physical, EX skill power boosted. Nice. So with physical, that doesn't mean melee, that means physical type. So if you're doing a physical shot or a physical melee, a physical melee icon's the fist, physical shot is the 3 bullets. So that second trait will actually affect both melee and shot, but the first trait, boosting melee power, will really benefit more melee machines. But this does mean if you do a melee physical EX like Bisect, you get both of these boosts. I'd say old Sokai tier, yeah. It's kind of nuts when you think about like how crazy high the stats have gotten, you know? Okay. So I'm assuming this had B power before, and now it's pushed itself up to A. Pretty good. I I can't remember the animation though. This really does just boil down to the animation. Is it something that puts you into a really bad animation lock, or is it quick? Is it ranged? Does it have shockwaves? All that kind of stuff. But at least has a power. Alright, let's look at the legs. Kensiken. And same as before. A power, low cooldown. Purely boils down to the animation. And God help me, I can't remember what the animation is. It's been so many parts. So many parts. With technique attribute, melee crit rate boosts by 30%. Talked about crit rate already, not the biggest fan. Arm parts EX skill power boosted. We have a ton of very powerful arm EXs in this game. And the way that this is worded, that second trait will affect anything. Shooting, melee, whatever. Obviously the first trait kind of leans you towards using a melee part, or a melee EX and such, but it's really up to you. Second trait works for everything. Just I don't like that first trait very much. Alright, let's look at the Tonfa. When attacking with physical melee power boosted. Really easy to hit the notes on that one. When one enemy shot down, reduce cooldown by 50% once. This falls into the gap of it restricts the amount of modes you can use it in quite heavily. You can't use it in any 1v1 content, so 1v1 friend battles, 1v1 arenas, certain multi-missions. Can't use it at all. Outside of that though, you will probably find some good mileage out of this. You get a physical melee power boost, dope, and you also get your cooldown 50% reduction. Yeah. I'd say we have a lot of options in terms of like cooldown reduction, so I don't know if the 1 shot down or 2 shot downs are really that amazing. They're good, for sure. Not amazing, though. Personal thing. After 10 seconds pass, EX skill power boosts by 30%. So much like I said before with the 50% cooldown reduction with the 10-second trigger, this really does limit what you're going to be able to use it on. 1v1 arenas might not be the best thing unless you're on like the space map. Might not be good for certain content racing, but in most content you'll find 10 seconds is more than easy to suffer through, whether it's multi-missions, battle circuits, whatever. With technique attribute, enemy melee power reduced. That does only affect the suit that this is equipped onto. It's more of a defensive style trait, not my cup of tea. I prefer the more offensive oriented stuff, but it's a big modifier and it's very easy to activate with the technique attribute, so at least it has that going for it. And lastly, the Bow of Piercing Light. While Gundam type, initial EX skill charge boosted by 20%. Alright, really easy to get the Gundam type tertiary tag. No problems there, and the initial EX skill charge boost, handy. While 4 computers, EX skill power boosted. Yeah, one of the like 3 good traits that are triggered by 4 computers. It's good, but I don't personally like the 4 computers tag. I much prefer the more specific stat oriented tertiary tags, especially considering it's a lot easier to get more mileage out of, let's say, a Gundam type tertiary tag than it is a 4 computers tertiary tag with all the stuff that it can activate. So yeah, but again, it depends on your build, depends on the parts you're using and everything available to you, right? Mileage may vary. It's okay, you know, it's a pretty solid alteration. Nothing jaw-dropping. So with that out of the way, it looks like all that's left then is going to be our pilots. Oh boy. Well, I guess we'll start with Ren. Let's start just from the bottom and work our way up. Alright. So, full cap, what are we looking at here? So when you have your full triangle, speed, power, technique, all in a single party, you get your EX skill power boost. Pretty solid. And when you're buffed, your EX skill power gets a further boost. Do keep in mind with the way that this game works, we have a plethora of ways to buff ourselves. So that second trait's going to be really easy to activate. However, it's not going to be activated right at the beginning of a match, so you will have to use an EX skill or something that potentially buffs you beforehand to get the most mileage out of this. But it's not a bad second trait by any means. Numerically, we're looking at about, wow, 3,200-ish shot attack and about 2,500 melee. That's really, really, really good. All things, like for a non-build project pilot, those are some solid friggin' numbers. I got no complaints. All right, let's look at Yuri. So you get your 30% melee boost, leg parts EX skill power boosted. Again, we have a ton of really good leg EX skills. This is great. I got no problems with this. Good second trait, really works well with that first trait. Great. Numerically, she still lacks, unfortunately. She does only push about 2600 melee attack, about 2400 shot attack. Much better than what you would normally get from gacha pilots. So if you lack any build project pilots, those numbers are really friggin' good. But if you do have a build project pilot, she'll obviously be lacking numerically. You may wish to backslot her if potentially for that mobile fighter tag, if you lack a pilot that already has it like Dolman, and for the traits as well. All right, let's look at Rindo. Let's see how busted your stat pool got. Oh boy. Okay. Ranged weapons EX skill power boosted. So ranged weapons refers to your gun. So this is only going to boost the EX skill power of your ranged weapon. So your bazooka, your rifle, that weapon slot. So if you aren't using an EX skill in that slot, it's not going to get a boost at all. Myself, I use a magazine in the rifle, so this would benefit me greatly. And when all three are technique, you get a shooting power boost as well. That does restrict your party comp, obviously, as you need to have everyone as technique, but the buff is great, so maybe it's worth it. Numerically, so we're looking at about a 3200 shot attack non-build project pilot. Again, that's really good considering it comes from the gacha. I believe our best build pilot for shot is at what, 3400 shot attack? So you're losing very little by front slotting her. However, you know, if you do have better numbers available, probably use them. You can always backslot her for the ace exclusive, for the Gundam type, for the traits, whatever. Again, solid pilot. Yuri, Rindo, and Ren really did well with all around good. It's a shame that the numbers weren't as good on Yuri's side, but everything else I think kind of makes up for it with her kit. All right, Sana, let's see. Did you get redeemed with this alteration? EX skill power boosted, arm parts EX skill power boosted. Again, tons of really good arm EX skills. Great. Numerically, okay, so about 3k shot attack. Remember, because she doesn't have a shooter tag, just the supporter tag, she doesn't get the extra multiplier on the stat. So her actual effective is going to be a lot lower than Rindo's, for example, or Ren's. So, yeah. Yeah, traits are great. Tags are workable, mostly. High firepower is workable. Support type, not so much. Numerically, pretty okay. Just doesn't get the most benefits out of it. It's really weird when you think about it, because, like, to my understanding, Sana's been kind of like the poster girl that they use for a lot of, like, their advertisements and stuff. It's just weird to see her get shafted so hard. All right. So that's our pilots. Them's be the breaks. Now, time to start looking at all the new content. For one, if you didn't notice, we have a new ring added to our menu. We have the alteration, makes my life a lot easier. Crew, yeah, they pretty much just added all the shortcuts that we really wanted quick access to in here. I will say the achievements in the gift box is really nice. No longer do I have to go into achievements, claim everything, go back out to the main menu, go into gifts and do it from there. I can just do quick taps and swap between them, which is great. I love it. Convenience, 10 out of 10. Yeah, so let's look at operator base. I played around with this a little earlier to kind of figure out what was going on with it. Pretty much, it does give you a really good breakdown when you turn it on for the first time. effectively, you're looking to get the most grade points you can, which is putting in the best parts you can possibly fit into this. Max EX or trait skill, max level, all that stuff, and it gets assigned a grade point. The more grade points you have, the better the boost is for this. So yeah, honestly, I would say if you are able to make use of this, it does give you a little bit of extra boost. It's nothing crazy. For example, if you have it absolutely maxed out, every 4 seconds you get a 1% effect up, which sounds really good, but you have to remember most combat doesn't last that long. It really doesn't. You might be able to get maybe 3 to 4 triggers on this at most, maybe 5 if you're having a slow day or something, but typically matches will last like 10 seconds or less. So this is really, I think, multi-mission friendly, where fights can last a long time to get the boost. But yeah. Let's see what else did they add. Right, mission creation. Before I go into that though, was there really anything else they added? Because they added the operator base, they added in all that really cool new stuff on the wheel, they put in all those new campaigns and stuff. What are the 3.0 notes? Let's take a look at what they all added again, because there was some stuff they did add. Right, you're able to change your suit in combat now to other people that are in your squad, which is pretty friggin' dope. Yeah, mission creation, operator base. Yep, swapping, new story missions, battle circuit improvement with multiple part usages. You can also use gear in there now. The daily mission upgrade where you can do it for free once per day. Yeah. Yes, and that was another really big one, the removal of cost. So no longer do you have to worry about making sure your team falls within the constraints of the, what was it, 3,400 points or whatever. You can just build whatever you want, which is pretty great. Parts in the operator base can't be altered. You have to remove them beforehand. Cool. Operator boost seems underpowered. The thing is with that though, I don't think it was meant to make us over. We're already, at least in the high levels, so powerful most content dies in one shot anyways. And because we have such a huge gap between, each big difficult spike, there's so much time to build our foundations that the next big challenge comes up, we can just straight, delete it. For example, the recent batch of, the Inferno missions or whatever, like, those are maybe challenging for an hour at most, I think, and most people had them cleared by then because we had enough parts laying around, or we had just the stats to brute force through it. So there's no need for us to get excessively stronger. We're powerful enough as it is. They need to start adding content that makes us think more and make us play the game in a more technical manner. Because as it is right now, the most they're able to do is, for example, what the hell is the name of that game? The Division. Instead of actually making the fights technically and mechanically difficult, they just said, screw it, we'll just give them a ton of HP and call it a day. That doesn't make something difficult, it makes it annoying, right? For example, the multi-missions. If they decided to take a page from MMOs and actually add in difficult mechanics, they would be infinitely more fun. Imagine a big Xant where there's actual phases you cannot do any damage to it, and the entire point is to just dodge attacks following mechanical structures. The mechanical structure of its pattern, whatever. That would extend the fight, but make it feel more interesting. So you'd have to rescale the rewards because there's actual interaction required now. But it'd be better than being able to, 2 second just instantly nuke it with some cheese EX skill build, right? That's kind of the problem. So basically Nishi mode where you have to use specific attacks. That would be really cool if they set up something where there was a boss where one of its phases was like that. So, like, the first quarter of its HP, you could only damage with physical. The second quarter, you could only damage with beam. For the third quarter, it just got a huge damage reduction, and you could only damage it with flat damage boosts. And then stage 4, something else. And the entire point of this is to try to make your suit able to adapt to these things, right? If you made it so you had to run it one suit against this, I think that would be a really cool thing to do. That encourages building smart instead of just building brute force, right? What's your thought on new custom mission? I need to actually look at mission creation. I haven't done that yet. I'll be doing that momentarily, though. Yeah, better filters, custom skin improvements. So I don't know if you guys have really, like, the improvement to loading time. So booting from desktop into game still takes a good amount of time, a lot less than before. But I found a humongous delay still exists after a big patch like this, where I went to event missions. My game just sat there for like 30 seconds loading data. When I went to the gacha, again, it just sat there for 20 seconds or so loading data. I don't know why it takes it so long, but it does. So regarding certain things not dashing and just walking, it could be a bug. Could just be something with the touch interface on your phone. I don't know. If Suki was here, I would ask him because he plays Infighters all the time. I don't. Some Infighters have different AI behaviors. Yeah, if you have it on like auto, it really just depends on the AI. If you're doing it manually and you're having issues dashing, it could be a bug. We did just have a big patch. Wouldn't be terribly surprising. Alright, so let's take a look at this mission creation thing, because I'm kind of interested to see what it does, and I know you guys are kind of interested too, so... Alright, what do we got? You can dispatch your Gunpla's enemies. Ooh, spicy. Alright, cool. Alright, well, let's try building something here. Alright, we'll do a solo. Stage. Oh, let's do that. That one's always interesting. Stage time. I'll do evening. Alright, what are our tags? We'll just set that. I have no idea what any of these things actually do. So I need plugins to be able to modify this. Alright, and I don't have any. Cancel. Alright, and I get to build my own stuff for people to play against. Okay. Wow. That is... Okay, so I'm forced to do 3 waves. I'm not able to do, like, just 1 wave or anything, huh? Very interesting. Alright, let's see what happens, though. I want to see what happens. Let's just do a boss wave here. Loadout. We'll throw you in there. Okay. So let's see what happens if I do test run. Titles blank, descriptions blank. Okay, well we'll put in. All right, test run. All right, cool. Let's see what happens. Now, I really want to be able to modify the behavior of the AI, because if I can modify it to forcefully use EX skills, like as soon as they're off cooldown, that thing's going to be not fun to fight against, because it just has 3 yeet skills, and they all hurt a lot. Okay. Okay. And yeah. Alright. Yeah, it looks like you need plugins to activate these other stages as well. Alright. I'm really curious. Did they give us anything? I didn't properly check my my gift box for today. Did they give us stuff for this? Well, see, the point is not to make it impossible for people to beat. It's just to catch people off guard, because nobody expects the AI to use EX skills, right? Because they never do. So if you started a match and the AI just suddenly threw something at you, it'd catch you the first time. That's all I want. Daily missions. They added an EX mission. Yeah. It's a very interesting feature, and I find it really cool that they have you build the suits yourself. So, actually, wait. Okay, so here's a really cool idea. I don't have the parts to do it myself, but I highly recommend somebody does it. You make the boss wave 3 enemies. One of them completely immune to melee, one of them completely immune to shot, and one of them completely immune to EX. And just see what happens. I think that would be hilarious to watch. Frankly, I think that's a really good idea, and if I had the parts, I would totally do it myself. Unfortunately, I don't have enough parts like that all set up to do. Because that'd be great to watch, frankly. Maybe I'll talk to Bandai. Maybe they'll hook me up with the parts I need to create that. You don't need the parts, really? That'd be great if that's true. I'm looking to see if there's stuff in here that I know I shouldn't have, but it looks like it only shows the stuff I do have. So, you can parts repeatedly when you build for custom stages. Yeah, but yeah, okay, you can set the percentage mod, but you need plugins for that, don't you? I'm trying to think of a way to do it without using plugins, because the problem with using plugins all the time is they are a technical finite resource. Yeah. That's kind of the deal, right? Even here, right? You need to use plugins to do any modifications. I'm thinking of a way to make it as natural as possible just to piss people off. Remember, the fun with creating your own missions for stuff like this, you don't want to make something that's like Dark Souls difficult. Sure, there's people that are going to do it, but the real fun is creating something more akin to a puzzle. So, personal experience. I've found whenever I've played any type of game, whether it's a first-person shooter, a JRPG, whether it's a platformer, anything, the most fun I've found is solving the puzzles behind what I'm fighting, right? For something like Doom, right? Even that has small bits of puzzles to it. You have to figure out how to properly tackle the problem instead of just going in guns blazing all the time. Sure, that does work most of the time, but there are some scenarios where you do actually have to take a step back and think about it. JRPGs, those are almost all puzzle solving when it comes to fighting. Typically, you gotta figure out what's the enemy weak to. What are they gonna do to screw your shit up? When you're fighting a boss, what are the triggers I'm about to eat? I have no idea what these things do. And I find that it's satisfying to overcome those challenges. As nice as it is to beat something very difficult, right? Like, just an outright difficulty challenge. Those are cool. But I find more satisfaction at the end of the day figuring out a difficult puzzle where once you figured it out, it's very easy to repeat it over and over again because you've mastered it, right? It's just something I prefer a lot more when it comes to difficulty. I don't find difficulty fun when it's hard for the sake of being hard. I enjoy difficulty when it's difficult until you figured it out. So, anyways, people are saying that in the welfare shop we have the plugins. So let's take a look there, see what's available. Exchange, not the daily play badge. We want the wolf coin. Yes, there are 9. Now, what are we working with here? Okay, I have enough. I'm gonna see exactly how much it costs to do the modifications because I'm not 100% sure what's actually going on with this. So, pick up. They really need to add a buy all button for these kind of pages. Because this is just tedious. The plugins in welfare are just stage plugins though. Okay, that makes sense. That explains the text on them. But it's still nice to see exactly what they do because there were a lot of stages already there. Am I not able to pick a stage unless I have an appropriate plugin for it? In which case, how was I able to pick the stage that I wanted? Let's see here. Stage. Ah, so it would just require the tag underneath it. Okay. Interesting. We reduce that to 30 seconds. Oh yeah. This is outgoing. This isn't defensive, is it? Melee shot, physical beam. Is there a way to modify defensive values? We can only multiply by 200%. You can also check plugins you have top right. So if I did this, so remove that. Yeah, now I just need to find the required plugins I need for this. Okay. Oh boy. Aww. Fine, we'll do 1%. Normal damage? No, EX skills only. Alright, I want to see what happens. Because my machine that's fighting it uses all shot, so I just want to see what happens with this setup. If you have the acid plugin, they damage... Is it per tick? Because if it's per tick, that's straight memes. Like, that's actually disgusting. Oh. Oh my. Look at those magazines. Oh, this has so much potential. Oh, the fun I'm gonna have with this when I get enough parts, guys. I don't even think you know. Come on, use an EX skill and finish me off already. I kind of wanna... Yeah, that's great. Oh, man. You can do some really nasty stuff with this. Oh, okay. So, my opinion of this whole create a mission thing, this looks like a ton of fun. Like, if you have nothing else to do and you really just want to play the game, there is so much that you can do with this. I'm probably going to spend a few hours tomorrow looking through my parts to see what I can make work for this. That's going to be fun. All right. Anyways, guys, looks like that's it. Oh, right. Funnels got buffed. That's the last thing. I wanted to check that before I screwed off. Let's see here. Kshatriya Arms. Your funnels. What happened to you? Do I have anything on demand with funnels? No. Alright, let's just grab the new Verkai, I guess, real quick here. Because I know you had really, really bad funnels. Unalterated, what are you at? You should be like D power or something? Yeah, okay. So D power, just the funnels. I want to see how the suit does. I want to see what they've done. You. Swapping you for a funnel backpack man. It's a beautiful abomination. I love it. Alright. They said damage went up on funnel suits. I'm going to find out. I want to see if they've actually changed the logic behind how the funnels work. Because if they have, that is amazing. If they haven't, then they've really not fixed much, unfortunately. Unless the damage is crazy different. These are way too strong. I'm going to have to do a story mission, I think. Well, you know what? I can do a daily mission. Let's do a Nipper mission. 60k? Alright, I'll add a few more parts to this so it doesn't just immediately friggin' die. Should probably add, I think, a torso for armor. Yeah. What do we got? Cool, we'll just slap you on. And let's give you a actual weapon here. Cool, it's a crappy rifle. That'll do. 4,000 shot attack. That should be more than sufficient to see what happens. There's really not a lot to understand when it comes to the operator feature, though. Pretty much the operator base boils down to pick the attribute you want to boost, pick the word tag you want affected, and then just pack as many high-end parts as you can into it. And what happens is when you sortie with an operator base attached to your squad or to your suit, as long as it meets the criteria, so power and pro tag or whatever, it'll get whatever buffs are delegated by its grade value. Alright, come on, fin funnels. Alright, let's see what happens. You attack more often. Okay, so the answer is no. The answer is no. They do not attack any faster than they did before. Yeah. I am really curious as to what they deem an upgrade to funnels are. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, with that, I think we're all done for tonight with I was about to say Gunpla Warfare, but it's Gundam Breaker now, GBM. So I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight, guys. It is already quarter after midnight. I do have to get to sleep eventually. So yeah, I'll reach out to Bandai and ask them exactly what changed with that. Hopefully the devs are forthcoming to kind of give us a little more information instead of just, funnels do more damage. Did you increase the power? Do they shoot more often? What did you actually do to this? I'll ask. Anyways, yeah. So peace out, guys. I'll see you next week for the content drop. And hopefully you guys have fun with all this new stuff. I'm really looking forward to playing around more with the mission creation. So, yeah. Anyways, peace out, guys. See you next time.